What's going on, everybody? Jeff Carter here. Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 3. Thank you so much for being here. Today, we are talking about what we men do when we're hurting. So, what do you do when you're hurting? That's the question for today. We're going to delve into a bunch of different topics, a bunch of different stuff that I do in my life, and maybe this will help you to learn from what I've learned over the years. Like I said, my name is Jeff Carter. I want to thank you for being here. This is the Common Man Podcast. This is totally free to download, free to play at your leisure. Like, subscribe, share these videos, reach out to me with questions or comments. Really appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. So we're talking about what I do when I am hurting, and what I could do better, what I failed to do in the past, things like that. So what do you do when you're hurting? The first thing that came to my mind when I am in some form of pain, either physical or emotional or spiritual, mental, or just plain physical pain, if I'm actually just physically being hurt, is I had a tendency to lash out. Anger. Anger was my go-to emotion. Doesn't matter what kind of hurt I was experiencing, I would I would really get mad. And people that know me today, when I say stuff like this, there's no way, you're such I don't want to say well balanced. I don't want to say, happy go lucky. My wife knows this to be true. I am an optimist. I tend to see the good in people. I tend to give people the benefit of the doubt right when we first meet. That is something that I have learned. It is not something that came natural to me. My background, the way that I grew up, the male figures, the adult, this is how to be a man kind of figures that I had in my life were not, how do I put this? They weren't the best examples of how to be a man, how to act, how to behave, how to treat others. It didn't go well for me during my childhood. Initially I would retreat. Sometimes I would go to the comic side. But it got to the point where I had taken enough abuse as a child, as a young adult, as an adolescent, that I would become angry. And I would use that anger as a defense mechanism. I would do things like name calling. I would do things like disassociation. Or I would, kids, well, how do I put this? You flip the script on them. You turn it around on them. So whatever it is that's coming after you, you get angry at them, and then you go off on that person, and then that problem becomes their problem instead of your problem. Does that make sense? Another thing that I would do while I was mad is I would build a wall. I do a lot of wall building. I should have been a brick mason. This would effectively keep me safer emotionally, spiritually. If I didn't have that kind of connection with the other person, then where was I going with that one? Wall building. Making sure to keep myself guarded. I knew that this person, even if they were close in my life, mother, father, brother, girlfriend, best friend, whatever, I would build that wall, and then I would no longer communicate any kind of, deep emotional connection with that person. They may be doing it from their side toward me, but I would never really let them in. Anger had a tendency to do that. Also, another thing that a lot of times Instead of going to that anger emotion, I would isolate. When I would get hurt, I would just go into my room, either my physical room or into my own mental room. As a child, as a young adult, growing up, I loved to read. Going into any kind of fantasy, what do you call it? Movies or books or any kind of fantastic realm, that's outside of reality. It's one of the things that I did a lot. I would get angry, I would lash out at that person, and then I would isolate, shut them off. I would retreat, go into a book, go into a movie. I would literally disassociate myself with reality. And then that disassociation became my reality to the point where I was quite literally pretending that I was somebody else, living out my life pretending that I was another person. You know, becoming the characters in my books, becoming the characters in my movies. And these are the things that I would retreat into. Instead of reaching out for someone that I could trust, because I didn't have anybody that I could trust in my life, because everybody had betrayed me at some point or another, I would retreat to these characters, these imaginations that I would find myself in. I often think about that movie with Ben Stiller. It's it's fairly recent, made within the last 5 or 7 years, where he would literally disappear into his own imagination, into his little areas of make believe. This is the one where he's working for Life magazine, and I have it over here on my shelf somewhere. I can't remember the name of it. Where is that movie? It is Mitty. There it is. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Great movie. If you've never seen it, highly recommend checking that one out. Like I said, I love movies. I got them all, a whole bunch of them on DVD over here. But that's something that he would do. He would get into these situations, and it wasn't even a traumatic kind of event. It was just something that was going on in his life where it wasn't going according to his plan, and so he would disassociate himself and go into these fantasy, dream, ideal situations that he would put himself into where he would be able to become the hero. It's kind of what I did as a kid, as a young adult, as a teenager, all through, even in my 20s. My beard is really messing with me. There we go. Or, and I know a lot of others that are out there that probably do this, you bottle up your feelings. Just take it and bottle it up, shove it down deep inside, and forget about it. That only works up into a point. And then at some point, all of those feelings, the stuff that you bottled up because you didn't want to experience it at that time, you didn't want to allow that to flow through you, and either use those feelings to your advantage or talk through them or just allow yourself to feel those things, eventually they come out. And it comes out in a very explosive way. And then, like, if you're like me, you revert back to the very beginning. You lash out, you get angry, and you're like violently angry. Not to the point where you're actually committing violence, but it's screaming and yelling, breaking objects, punching holes in walls, storming out of the house, slamming doors. You get into your vehicle so that you can isolate, and then you would drive off, squealing the tires, whatever. Any kind of behavior like that where, you just can get away from something and you can act angry, and then you can just kind of breathe it out and bottle it up so you don't have to feel those feelings anymore. Different things that we have to deal with as men that we don't often allow other people to see because we have to maintain this ideal outward appearance. Like nothing affects us. Like, even if it does affect us, it only pertains to a very small portion of our day. And then it's over. But unfortunately, it's not. This is stuff that goes on inside that you have to address at some point. So you need other guys to talk to bounce ideas off of. Guys that not only are trustworthy, but know you for who you really are. Now, I have two of these kind of guys that are in my life that know everything about my past. They know about my childhood and how rough that was. They know about me going to prison and how rough that was. And they know about me going through girlfriends like going through tissue paper and how rough that was. They know all of those dirty things that I have in my past. And there's a lot of them. And I'm sure you guys have a lot of them too. These are things that we need to address, and that's why I wanted to do these kind of podcasts, and I want to reach out to guys like you that are like me, that have had these kind of issues, that you don't want to deal with this stuff. Insert four-letter word there. Because life's too hard to do on our own, man. Another thing that I want to talk about is depression. Going through depression, being depressed, dealing with suicidal thoughts, dealing with homicidal thoughts. Yeah, man, we've all had them. More than once. Where I have been in really dark places. And being a gun enthusiast, having access to those kind of things, sitting there, holding that weapon in my hands, wondering, what would happen? I know it would be the end of my pain, my issue. I would take care of it. A very smart man once said that suicide is a very permanent solution to a very temporary problem. It's so simple, but it's deep. It's one of those things. And I take those kind of relationships when I hear other men speak about stuff like that. I don't take them for granted, is what I'm trying to say. I take them as often as I can, because every now and then those guys that are in your life, they're going to drop nuggets, man. Nuggets that find their way into your... And I'm pointing to my heart, but I really mean like deep down in where we actually feel, because the heart isn't the root of where our emotions are at. Our emotions happen much, much deeper than that. You ever feel something where you feel it deep down in your gut? Like the way that I felt when I met my wife, when I first met her. Like maybe you felt when you met that crazy, amazing love of your life. That's where we feel. We feel deep down in there. And the problem is most times when we're bottling something up, when we're trying to hide whatever it is that we're feeling, whatever it is that we're going through, that's usually where we stuff it, is deep down inside, right next to where everything else feels. And that is a recipe for disaster. I can recall just recently. I say recently, this was in the last couple of years, when my wife and I were going through a really, really, really difficult period where it was nonstop fighting. We're coming up on our 10-year anniversary here in a few months. And if anybody out there who's been in a relationship for more than 5, 6, 7 years, you know that there's a point when it kind of gets dark. Where I wasn't quite, I wasn't suicidal. I was having suicidal thoughts, but I wasn't suicidal. But the thought crossed my mind. It was more of the homicidal thoughts, where, God, on a number of different occasions, I just wanted to go on a killing spree. No bullshit. Sorry, pardon the language there, but it was ugly, because there was no way out for my marriage, the relationship that I had with my daughter, and I have a child through a different relationship in the past, and that's a whole nother story, and we're going to go into that much later down the road. But I was angry, like, all the time, and the only way that I knew how to express my anger was isolating or lashing out. I was reverting to my old self. Instead of reaching out to friends and talking about what was going on in my life, talking about how hard the relationship was going. We're still attending church. We're still going out to different activities. We're still hanging out with friends, but we've put on the mask. You know the mask. We put that on and we walk around, and that's the side that everybody sees. They see the mask side. They don't see the real you. They don't see the hurting you. They don't see the you that is in pain. They don't see the you that needs some friggin' help. You're not alone, dude. You're not. I've been there. I just recently got out of that. I mean, like I said, within the last couple of years here. Probably like within the last 6-8 months. Is only when it really started getting better. Because I was reaching out. I was talking to other men. It's like, dude, like every time that I would get into that crazy, angry rage state where I'm about to freaking snap, I would reach out. I'd call my buddy. I'd call my other buddy. Sometimes I'd call and talk to both of them. And I'd just be on the phone with them for 30 minutes. Like just huffing and puffing. And if you need, or if you find a friend like that, they will literally just be there on the phone and allow you to go crazy. You're not directing anything at them because they're not the one that you're mad at. You're really mad at the situation that is going on in your life. You're not so much mad at yourself. You're just mad at your life. Because it's not going where you wanted it to. It's not going the way you wanted it to. It's not going where you wanted it to. And it sure as shit ain't going where you want it to fast enough. And that's where we need to go. We need to seek comfort in our friends. We need to seek comfort, maybe not so much in our family. Unless you have someone in your family who you can trust to maintain a confidence, not to betray your confidence, but to take what you say and not even talk to their spouse about it, because this is the relationship that you have with that man. Someone who you see as being, I don't want to say better than you, but better than you. You know, someone who, not necessarily has it more together than you, but it maybe has been down a couple steps further down the road, because that's really all you need. Is someone who has just been through what you're going through so that they can help you to get through that muck and that mire. In church, they have a saying, if God brought you to it, he'll bring you through it. And whether you believe in God or not, whether you are a man of faith or not, doesn't matter. If you find your, and it's a stupid cliche, and I apologize for jumbling up the words, but if you find yourself going through hell, keep friggin' going. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't hang out over there. That's not where you want to be. Keep going. Reach out. Reach out to someone that you think you can trust. And let them in a little bit. Don't hit them with a fire hose of information. But let them in a little bit at a time. If you're stuck and you need someone that you can reach out to, I'm available. You can shoot me a message here on the podcast. Drop me a comment on Rumble or on you if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching this on Rumble, then you're getting these right away. I debut these on Friday, and then they debut on YouTube a week later. So go to Rumble, check it out. It's the Common Man Podcast. I'm at the Common Man 1. On YouTube, I'm at the Common Man 78. You can find these videos on there. Eventually, I'm going to start posting these on the audio format, so you can check these out. Or if you're listening on audio, then you're weeks and weeks behind, because I'm right now I'm recording this, and it is the middle of March 2025. So go to Rumble. That's where they are uploaded first. But reach out to me. I won't be able to answer you right away, but I will try to answer you as soon as I'm able. And I can try to help you through some stuff. Because I want to help. I'm not doing this because, I want fame or popularity or any of that crap. I would truly, I want to help. I've been through what you're going through, I think. 'Cause I've been through pretty much every kind of situation that you've been in, be it, you know, in a job that you hate, or if you just got fired from a job, or if you're you own your own business or you're starting a business. I've been there too. You're going through relationship problems. Yeah, been there. You're going into prison. Been there. Know what that's like. I went through some serious depression the months leading up to me having to serve time. You're just coming out of prison and you're about to go crazy. Yeah, been there. Went hog wild. You're dealing with drugs and alcohol? Yep, done that. Got a brother who's living on the streets right now. Been living on the streets 10 years. Know how to help you deal with that. You're married, going through marital problems? Been there. Got advice, man. I want to help. So reach out. Don't isolate. Don't try not to lash out. It's not the right answer. And when you do seek the company of other men, or I should say, when do you seek the company of other men? Do you do it never, or do you do it rarely? Because honestly, we need it. Not just for me, but when I reach out to my friends and I start talking to them about stuff that I'm going through, there's sometimes that they're going through the exact same thing that I'm dealing with at that moment. And me going off on my problems allows them to open up about what's going on in their life. And I don't know if you're a man of faith or not. If you don't believe in God, that's fine. I'm not here to preach my faith. Although if you do ask me about that, I will go crazy and I will open up completely the floodgates that I have about my faith and my faith walk and all that stuff. I am not ashamed of it. I love Jesus Christ. He is my Lord and Savior. But if you're not ready for that, or if you don't want any part of that, that's fine. Totally cool. We're all in our own walk of life. Men of strength need to seek strong men. And written in the Bible, in Proverbs, so as iron sharpens iron, man sharpens man. A long time ago, I learned something, and I don't know if I'm the one that created this phrase or not, because, I've been saying this for, 30 years. But if you want to be better, then you need to surround yourself with people that are better than you. If you want to be wealthier, you need to surround yourself with people that are wealthier than you. It's just the way it works. There's a statistic that's out there somewhere. I don't know when this was done. I believe it's like mid, 2015 or somewhere around there, that they found that when you retire, you typically retire within 5% financially wise with the people that you associate with. So we think about that. If you want emotional stability, then you hang out with people that appear to you to be more emotionally stable than you. If you want financial wealth, if you want intellectual wealth, if you want spiritual wealth, if you want physical, like in your physicality, if you want to be stronger physically, then you hang out at the gym with men that are stronger than you. You'll eventually reach their level. If you want to be stupider, then you surround yourself with people that are dumber than you. It's just that simple. So what do you do when you're hurting? Do you lash out? Do you isolate? Do you get angry? Do you get depressed? When you're hurting, do you reach out for help? Because, my friends, it's time. Let's do it. Hit me up. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you're watching this on Rumble, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, follow, subscribe, smash that Rumble button. Download these videos. Share them with other guys that you think that are going through something. If you feel, if you're watching this and you're like, ooh, hey, you know what? So-and-so can really benefit from this. please share them, or just send them a link to the video. I'd really, really appreciate it. And like I said, if you're so inclined to reach out to me, please don't hesitate. I am more than happy to answer questions or comments in the little comment section. Send me a message. I can't promise that I'm going to answer right away, but I will answer them as soon as I'm able to. God bless you, my friends. Hope you're having a good one out there. And if you're not, reach out. We'll talk to you later. See you on the next episode. Take care.